Ever looked at an influencer's closet and thought, wow, I wonder what stories those clothes could tell? Or maybe even, what if those stories could become a really smart business idea for me? Mm. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something truly innovative, influencer-curated resale pop-ups. Our deep dive today comes from some really compelling insights in closet stories, influencer resale pop-ups, and we're especially focusing on how events like Neverworns are absolutely revolutionizing the game here. So our mission is basically to show you how these unique events are turning, once loved wardrobes into revenue streams. It offers a kind of shortcut to understanding this fascinating blend of fashion, community, and, well, sheer entrepreneurial brilliance. We'll be looking at Neverworns as a prime example. That name itself is pretty clever, right? It implies a piece that maybe never found its norm with one owner, but is just ready for a new story. So what makes Neverworn such a standout? Is it truly just about unworn items, or is there maybe a broader philosophy behind that name?
Well, yeah, and what's truly exciting is how these go way beyond your average, thrift market. They're actually creating a whole fresh blueprint for commerce. They seamlessly weave together genuine personal connections with a more sustainable approach to fashion. Essentially, it's about turning an influencer's true-to-self brand into something you can actually buy. And to your point about Neverworns, it captures that essence perfectly. While, yeah, it implies unworn, the philosophy really extends to any item with a significant personal narrative from the influencer. Stuff that maybe hasn't seen a lot of public wear or just has a story that resonates. It's a curated closet event where fashion insiders, stylists, bloggers, tastemakers, they open their personal wardrobes for public resale. It moves beyond just a simple transaction because, well, each garment truly tells a story.
Yeah.
Who wore it, where they wore it, why it matters to them, and now, potentially, why it could matter to its new owner. It's about passing on not just an item, but like a piece of an experience.
Okay, so when we talk about success factors, what's really driving the engine behind these pop-ups? Is it simply that influencers have a following, or is there maybe a deeper psychological hook, like this built-in audience and trust we keep hearing about?
Oh, it's definitely more than just a numbers game, and that's kind of the subtle insight here. I mean, sure, a large following helps, but it's not just about the size of the audience, it's more about the depth of engagement. You see, fans follow influencers because they admire their style, right? Their taste, the stories they share. So when these influencers decide to open their closets, their audience isn't just showing up, they're showing up ready to buy because they trust that influencer's curation and they often feel a real personal connection. Actually, we've seen that sometimes micro-influencers, with their super niche and loyal communities, they often drive higher conversion rates and more genuine interaction than some mega influencers, where the connection can sometimes feel a bit more superficial. Yeah, it's about finding that sweet spot of authentic connection and that pre-existing trust. It inherently reduces the marketing effort. You're leveraging a direct line to consumers who already value the curator's aesthetic and, well, their integrity.
Right. Now, for anyone listening who's maybe thinking about starting a business, the phrase low startup costs usually sounds, well, almost too good to be true. Inventory is such a headache for traditional retail. So how does this model genuinely alleviate that pressure, especially for a newcomer?
Oh, it's a total game changer for exactly that reason. Think about traditional retail models. They often demand significant upfront capital for buying stock, managing warehousing, and then the dreaded issue of dealing with unsold items. That's a big one. With this influencer resale pop-up model, the items come pre-owned, usually straight from the influencer's closet. So this inherently minimizes the upfront costs for the organizer. You're not buying new inventory, you're basically just facilitating a transaction for items that already exist. Plus, every piece carries provenance like a known history from the influencer who owned it. This automatically adds a perceived value that goes way beyond the material worth of the garment itself. You're not just selling a commodity, you're selling a piece of a story, a pre-loved treasure. This is a huge departure from typical retail inventory challenges. It's a truly asset-light approach to commerce, which is incredibly appealing for new ventures.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the practicalities, and there's also this incredibly powerful emotional element,
Yeah.
community and storytelling. It really feels like these aren't just transactions. They're more like experiences.
Absolutely. This is truly the emotional core, I think, that elevates the entire business model. Each gown, jacket, or accessory isn't just a garment. It's kind of woven into a personal narrative. Maybe it was worn to a specific memorable event or featured in a social media post people loved, or it just holds deep sentimental value for the influencer. I actually remember one influencer telling this vivid story about a vintage leather jacket, how it was her lucky charm during a really pivotal career moment. Yeah, and the person who bought it later sent a message saying they wore it to their first big job interview and got the offer. Those kinds of personal touches, those little anecdotes, that's what turns a transaction into a truly unforgettable connection.
Hmm.
That emotional connection is precisely what drives demand, turning shopping into this unique experience. Buyers aren't just acquiring an item, they feel like they're inheriting a piece of that story, a tangible link to someone they admire, and they become part of that community themselves. It really transforms shopping into an interactive, almost intimate event.
And what about the actual format? This model isn't stuck in one lane, which I think is incredibly clever. That hybrid format flexibility seems like a major advantage.
It absolutely is. That flexibility significantly broadens the reach and accessibility for both the sellers and the buyers. It allows for an adaptability that traditional retail often just doesn't have. These pop-ups can manifest in all sorts of forms. They can be physical, like a vibrant one-day market in some trendy urban space that gives you that tactile social shopping experience, with fitting rooms and direct interaction.
Right, the classic pop-up feel.
Exactly. But they can also be entirely virtual. Think platforms like Instagram Live doing closet drops. Items get showcased and sold in real time, instantly reaching a global audience. We've even seen interesting blends, like where a physical event is also live streamed.
Oh, interesting. Best of both worlds.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This adaptability lets organizers choose the format that best suits the influencer's audience, the specific items being sold, and importantly, their overall logistical capabilities. It helps maximize potential engagement in sales without being constrained by just one single approach. It truly makes the model resilient and pretty far-reaching.
Okay, so we've unpacked why this works so well. It's fascinating.
Right.
But for someone listening right now, maybe thinking, hey, I want to do this, what does all this mean for them? If they're looking to launch their own version of this idea, where do you even begin?
Right, that's the crucial next step, isn't it? Translating this compelling concept into actual action. And the beauty of this model is its accessibility. It's not really about massive capital. It's much more about strategic execution and understanding a few key principles. It's about building genuine connections and curating experiences.
And the first step outlined is to partner with local tastemakers. So how do you even identify the right people to partner with? It sounds like networking is key, but finding that genuine connection is probably even more important.
Right. You're spot on. Yeah, genuine connection is huge. The initial step is to actively seek out maybe fashion bloggers, stylists, local vintage lovers, or even community organizers in your city. People who already have a strong, engaged following and a distinctive style. It's not just about their follower count, It's about their influence and authenticity within their particular niche. Reach out, invite them to curate collections of their gently used items, but really emphasize the stories attached part. You're looking for pieces with provenance, pieces they loved, wore, and can actually talk about. This collaboration is really the bedrock of the entire concept. It turns what could be just a simple secondhand sale into a properly curated narrative. Think of it like co-creating an event that really celebrates their personal brand and style.
Okay, so once you have those partners, the next step is all about making those stories shine. Craft the narrative.
Right.
How do you really get those backstories to resonate with potential buyers?
Yeah, this is where the magic happens, I think. Every single piece shouldn't just be presented. It really needs a little backstory. This could be something as simple as, where it was worn for a special photo shoot, or how it was a cherished gift, or even just the specific way it was styled for a memorable occasion. The goal is to articulate why it mattered to the influencer. For example, a dress isn't just a dress, it's the dress I wore when I launched my first blog. It was a real confidence booster,
Right, giving it that context.
Exactly. This is where the emotional connection truly comes alive. It transforms an item into a unique, highly desirable piece with a bit of a soul. You're essentially selling a piece of a life, not just fabric.
Once we've got the tastemakers and the stories locked down, the big question becomes, where do these events actually happen? What are the key considerations for choosing the right platform, and how did that impact the overall experience?
Well, your choice of platform pretty much dictates everything, and each option comes with its own unique set of demands and advantages. It's a big decision. For instance, a physical pop-up leverages the experience economy beautifully. People love to touch, try on, socialize.
Yeah.
But it demands significant logistical planning. You've got to think about securing permits, setting up reliable POS point-of-sale systems, ensuring adequate security, managing foot traffic. It's a lot.
Mm,
An e-commerce mini site, on the other hand, offers scalability and global reach. That's a plus. But it requires robust SEO strategies, secure payment gateway integration, and a really clear return policy. Technical stuff.
right.
And then live stream sales. While incredibly dynamic and exciting with that real-time interaction, they need stable internet, crucial good lighting, clear audio, and often a dedicated comment-to-buy system to manage transactions smoothly. So understanding these underlying technical and logistical demands is really crucial for success. It allows you to pick the platform that aligns best with your resources and, of course, your audience's preferences.
That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, once you've chosen your stage, you need to get the word out effectively. How do you promote creatively to really build that excitement and anticipation? Make people want to be there.
Yeah, promotion in this model really thrives on building anticipation and excitement. You want people to feel like they absolutely cannot miss out. You want to create a buzz that has them marking their calendars, setting reminders. This can involve using things like countdown content on social media, teasing out glimpses of items with visually rich teaser reels, or even offering closet tour previews where the influencer gives a little sneak peek of what will be available, maybe sharing little hints about the stories behind the pieces.
Oh, like little breadcrumbs.
Exactly. The goal is to engage your audience in the lead up, creating a sense of urgency and desire even before the event officially kicks off. Think of it as giving them a sort of behind the scenes pass that makes them feel like insiders.
And finally, after all that planning, what does it take to really create the experience itself? How do you make sure the actual event, whether physical or digital, lives up to all that hype you've built?
Right. This is where it all comes together. And the experience is absolutely key to driving demand and making the event memorable. It has to deliver. If it's a physical pop-up, you really want to focus on the ambiance. Think curated music, stylish display racks that make the items feel special, maybe dedicated styling stations for shoppers to try things on, and even fun photo corners where people can capture their finds and share their excitement online. Creates more buzz. Yeah, the environment should feel like an extension of the influencer's brand, inviting and immersive. If it's a digital event, you need to make it highly interactive. Maybe consider live Q&A sessions where buyers can ask the influencer directly about the items. You could offer quick styling tips on the fly, or even run impromptu mix and match sessions as pieces sell. Keep it dynamic. Both formats absolutely must be engaging and reflect that unique narrative quality we've been talking about. It really has to turn a purchase into a memorable interaction.
What's really exciting, I think, is that this model doesn't have to stop at fashion. The source material suggests even wider applications, which really broadens the possibilities beyond just clothes.
Exactly. Yeah, looking at the broader implications, the core model extends far beyond clothing. It's quite adaptable. I mean, imagine curated home decor collections from interior design influencers,
All right.
where each piece comes with a story of its origin or how it, transformed a space.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Or maybe art pieces from local artists, where each painting has a personal narrative behind its creation and inspiration. You could even think about gear closets for, say, outdoor adventurers or hobbyists, where specialized equipment comes with tales of expeditions or significant achievements.
That's cool.
The common thread in all these potential applications is always leading with story and community. That personal connection and the narrative attached to the item, that remains the core strength. It really proves that authenticity and provenance can be monetized across a whole array of categories. It's about finding the story in pretty much anything.
So to wrap up our deep dive here, it feels like influencer-curated resale pop-ups truly blend storytelling, sustainability, and influencer culture into a genuinely profitable model. It's innovative, it's personal, and it's clearly resonating deeply with consumers today. So if you're listening and looking for a business idea that's exciting, has that cultural currency, and importantly demands relatively low startup costs, this might just be your closet gold.
Yeah.
Or, your curated bookshelf gold or your art wall gold. It's not just about selling items. It's really about sharing stories and building those connections.
Yeah, and this naturally leads us to a pretty crucial thought, I think. In a world that's increasingly valuing authenticity and conscious consumption, how else might we see the story of an item become its most valuable asset, creating maybe new markets we haven't even imagined yet? Maybe consider what personal narratives you might be able to leverage or what kinds of stories and items you seek out in your own life. The possibilities are truly expansive when you start prioritizing connection over just a mere transaction.